Okay, and welcome back. We are Culture Core Academy. I'm paying this as Caleb,
We
and we're here to talk about Loki episodes 1 and 2. We originally had these videos as separate videos, episodes 1 and 2, but through a myriad of technical difficulties, we've finally gotten back on track, sort of, and we're gonna put these two together for you, and just realize that we are still new to the game.
Yeah, we still got plenty to learn, but we learning. We learning. We grinding.
Yeah.
And we come in here with these 2 episodes so that we can get back on track.
Yes.
And you know what? It's a good thing too because these 2 episodes have been hella crazy. I don't know what you think, Ping, but
and incredible, giant implications on the MCU already, dude.
Big implications, and it's so crazy because I kind of hate them for doing these short episodes. We only got a few episodes left, and it's gonna be done.
Yeah, weren't there only like 6 episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier too?
Correct. With that being said, everybody at the Academy, let's get ready to get into it, and we'll talk about episode 1 first.
Yeah, episode 1. We learned a lot in episode 1. We learned that the TVA doesn't give a shit about what anybody's got going on. Real quick.
I mean, and that is true, and I gotta commend them for introducing the TVA, the Tom Barron's Authority, in the way that they did. Not only in the entirety of episode 1, but especially the first run-in that Loki has with them.
Oh, she broke his jaw in slow-mo in real time. Well, he felt the pain in real time, but he was in slow-mo. That was messed up. That was disrespectful.
Yo, she hit him with the slow motion for me.
Homegirl from Lovecraft Country knocked the taste out that man.
Yeah, no respect. But yeah, here we are now with the TVA, and like I said, I think the TVA is something that's going to be in the background or maybe in the foreground for all of us and in the MCU as we go forward with Phase 4.
Yeah, of course, what we all saw in episode 1, Marvel pretty much let us know that we're not really trying to deal with the Infinity Stones. It's been a long time on it, and now they're like,
Yep, years of build, and
they do not matter.
Right, and kind of rather comically, but also cruelly in one scene with everybody's favorite homie, Casey, they show that the stones are really kind of off the table, and they're not the main focus of the MCU. And you know what? I think that's fine. Like, they had a really good run, and they built up the stones really well. We've got plenty of other stories to tell, so we don't, the stones don't have to be in play. Kudos to how they did it. I mean, you could see Loki's little heart break into a million pieces right then. That's when that truth set in.
Yeah, he was hurt when he watched his story.
Right, and then he watched the story that he didn't already had to go through in episode 1, being like, "Dang, I die, and the stones are paperweights. What is life?"
You know what's messed up is this Loki had to experience it like that. The original Loki, he has no clue. He died for one.
He did. This one has a whole lot more awareness. I think that seems very important though, because I think that's the scene really for episode 1 where Loki is kind of aware of how strong of a place and entity that he's dealing with.
Yes.
Where he's at, and he kind of comes to terms with, okay, I'm going to be more receptive to what Mobius is telling me and what he's trying to get me to help him with.
Because him being a god doesn't mean anything to them. As we saw them, they had a scroll. They had a homeboy who was acting a fool and got evaporated, disintegrated.
Hey, should have had that ticket. That was another important thing.
He said he didn't give me a ticket. Well, your ticket. He didn't give me a ticket. All right, then you were
gone, vaporized.
So that's what we're dealing with.
Not a very high tolerance for foolishness from the TVA.
No.
What we noticed in episode 1.
That same stick that broke Loki's jaw in slow motion also disintegrated that guy.
I mean, but yeah, basically, I don't look. We know there's a multiverse, but he is in no verse now. I'm pretty sure. So moving on, also episode 1. What are some other things that kind of stood out for you when we were looking at that episode?
The animation sequence that told the story of the original multiverse being separate multiverses, and then a war came, and then all the separate timelines joined up into the original, I guess what we would call the MCU timeline, the one without the branches that was discussed as well in Endgame, between Hulk and the Ancient One.
Yep, the sacred timeline, if you will.
The sacred timeline. And I think that's a setup for Secret Wars. So they can bring anybody in from anywhere.
You know what? It kind of sounds like that. Y'all let us know what y'all think. Is that an early Secret War setup, or are we just early to be reaching for some ish like that? I don't know. They can kind of go either way, I think. So, episode 1, Loki decides, I guess he's gonna be on board and help them because they are asking him to help find a version of Loki.
Yes.
Which is unusual, but also definitely cool.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely cool.
It's either that or death. So,
I'm right. I mean, that seems like a pretty easy choice at that point. Honestly, he makes the right call there.
Yeah,
it goes with that. And
still these 6 episodes,
and that's what happened. Really, as we're walking our way into episode 2. Yes. Now, talking about episode 2, I'll just be honest with all y'all and say I thought like, okay, it's episode 2. MCU's gonna MCU their thing. We're gonna get some nice like support writing, some nice world building. That did not happen at all, Ping.
No.
Episode 2 was so crazy.
From the gun, dude. From the beginning. I mean, from the first scene.
Yeah.
We're seeing, okay, so what was it? What was our first scene? When TVA just came out of this random portal into 1985 Ren Fair.
Yeah.
And
1985 Ren Fair.
I didn't think it was, but my wife, Caleb, and some other YouTubers have said that there's a possible Agatha Harkness there in 1985 and that witchy looking girl who was kind of dressed the same way.
I mean, I have to say, they look kind of similar.
She was concerned about their costumes and not about the fact that they just walked through a time portal or a space portal. Whatever kind of portal she wouldn't know about. She was just way too cool with that. So, possible Agatha Harkness sighting there. Oh, and TVA gets completely fed to Pat Benatar.
Swiftly.
Yeah.
Swiftly bodied to Pat Benatar.
I don't think them playing the song Holding Out for a Hero is by coincidence. Marvel is usually very deliberate with these types of things. And we're going to get to that a little bit later. What's next? We saw these Loki variants.
The Loki variant. So, yeah, with the kind of like discussion of the multiverse and that being in play, we kind of found out that the TVA has already like encountered and handled in the past various Loki variants. Now, I think another thing they were trying to get across to us is all of these variants are not created equally. Some of them apparently are stronger or more clever or mischievous than others. Hence the problem they are having with who they're chasing, and I guess evident by them selecting the Loki that they have, who they feel is smart enough to track down the other one.
Yes. So we see the first Loki, L1247, a frost giant. And then we see the second Loki, also L1247, if I looked correctly, who's a Tour de France winner. That's messed up. He cheated.
He probably cheated too, just like Lance. Yep.
We see the third Loki, L6795. It looks like a Hulk Loki with his horns being real, actual extensions from his forehead, not his crown. This looks really cool. I hope we get to see something into that story. That looks really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, if not that one, I would like to think that if you give us that maybe we're at least going to get to see one or two other Loki variants.
Yeah.
And run-ins. Because, I mean, why would that just seems like something that'd be cool. Why not?
Yeah, we have L8914, Mandarin-looking Loki.
By the way, we still ain't forgot how badly they did Mandarin.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have done Mandarin that way.
It's kind of a waste of Ben Kingsley.
It was a total waste of Ben Kingsley. But you know what? We'll save the rest of the tender for another day. But just know, we ain't forget. We ain't forget that.
And then L7803, traditional Viking Loki.
Mm-hmm. Yep, gotta rock it. I love Norse Loki.
Yeah. Next, we see they go back to the Ren Fair, right?
Yep.
They go back to the Ren Fair and
for their basically their
almost
CSI
fall for a trap. Lots of pans from the center statue of the Timekeeper coming out to the full view of all three.
One of them Timekeepers looks real familiar.
Quite suspiciously like Kang the Conqueror, and I'm getting
very Kang-like.
I'm getting a Timekeepers aren't real vibe right now. I'm definitely getting a Timekeepers aren't real. Something weird. Also with Miss Minutes, I do not trust Miss Minutes one bit. I don't know what it is, but I just can't. I can't get behind it.
Why? What? Why? Why
She's mad suspect, man.
You can't trust Ms. You can't trust Ms. Minutes. You can't trust Siri and Alexa's great grandma.
Not that kind.
Not that. Not that kind. I mean, I think there's some validity to what you're pointing out. They could be kind of sus, but also maybe it's at this point. Yo, are we just paranoid? Has Marvel just been able to make us this paranoid and speculate?
Yeah.
Who knows? Let me know what y'all think. I'm curious to know. I think it could go out.
Let us know in the comments.
But speaking on a similar topic of suspect situations and people, that kind of brings me back to a person we've talked about before, Renslayer.
Yeah, Renslayer is also super suspect. Just not letting on everything. Renslayer definitely has secrets. And
I believe that.
We know that in the comic books, her and Kang the Conqueror are love interests. And we also know Jonathan Majors has been cast as Kang the Conqueror. And we also know that they like to put him on screen with light-skinned women. Lovecraft Country.
Oh,
Journey Smallville.
Yo, oh man. I mean, there's some solid points being made there. Honestly, though,
I'm gonna put my prediction there because of just based off of that. And if I'm right,
hey, come back to this video. Remember, but I mean, for me, I think that's one of my reasons for Renslayer being kind of sus. I mean, is that she has kind of effectively every episode so far, and the two that we've seen, in each of those episodes, she's asked a question, kind of important questions that she never actually answers. If you remember, you think back to episode 1, every time she's asked about something with the timekeepers, she deflects, and she does it again in episode 2 when it's just that one-on-one conversation with Mobius.
That's when we figure out that he hasn't met them.
Right, and not even Mobius has met them. And at this point, you kind of start wondering, well, like, who at the TVA has seen the timekeepers? Are we doing this sort of Wizard of Oz thing with them? You know, how much can we trust Renslayer? I'll be honest, for me, at least, I think I'm a little suspicious of a potential hidden villain reveal from her, potentially, because we've already seen things coming out of Falcon Winter Soldier where we just saw, like, the swerve, kind of the power broker reveal. Yeah. So maybe are they doing something similar here? We're going to have to wait and see.
That's kind of weak.
I mean,
if y'all don't give this man a jet ski,
we need to see that happen. We need to see that happen for him.
If y'all don't give this dude a jet ski, y'all ain't shit.
Y'all, come on, man. Y'all can give him the jet ski.
We only on episode 2. They got a lot of explaining to do. Because that's how hard they went. That's what Caleb said at the beginning of the video of the episode 2 discussion.
Yeah, they threw a lot at us.
They snapped already.
I was not prepared for everything that was thrown at us. We found some kind of key developments in how we can track down the mystery killer Loki, and that was from our version's Loki discovering that they've been hiding in apocalypses. They kind of do that through his file research of looking through Asgard, which I gotta say, maybe it's just me, but I really thought Asgard had more people. Asgard didn't even got 10,000 people.
Surprisingly low population there in Asgard.
Like Asgard has the population of
are definitely more people.
West Tennessee County.
Yeah, there are definitely more people up here in Nashville than there are in
There's more people in our neighborhood of Nashville.
Yeah.
Like, that was very surprising, the small population of Asgard.
Yeah, that was kind of disrespectful.
But anyways, he finds that tip. He goes to Mobius and convinces Mobius. And then Mobius has managed to get the clearance. Coming back to our Renslayer suspicion, though, got to point out, she does give it to him. But it was super begrudgingly, though. Yeah. Like, she really tried to dissuade him from doing that, but she let him go, and so off they go into 2050 Alabama. Still no Spider-Man trailer.
She gave him that FDR pen, the FDR high school pen.
Ooh, that's kind of weird. Well, yeah, you are pointing out a good piece of material for episode 2. Honestly, I think that might have been one of the more like talked about things of the episode was that pen, and what if that pen, which had Franklin D. Roosevelt High School on it, has any relevance to the show? And what do you think? You think it's got some relevance?
Yeah, I think. Well, didn't FDR start the SSR, which eventually became like Shield in the MCU?
I feel like that could be closer around the same time frame because I mean, Shield's having it around World War II time frames. And
I think it's something else, though. I think it's something else. I think they're going to do something else. The reveal will be on the show. Might tie into something because Marvel does that with every freaking thing. But I think that pin.
The pin, again,
the two characters that are exchanging it, the weight that it has when you have to what he has to sign off on, it definitely matters.
Not to mention how they shot it. If it didn't matter, why do you make sure that we could see? Mm-hmm. We could see the title of it, because if you're like me, I definitely paused on that image so I could see what it was.
Yeah.
But who knows? We got lots of intrigue, just like we have more intrigue going to episode 3, because at the end of 2, we finally see a face-to-face between our Loki and the murder Loki, and it's a lady Loki.
Yes, this variant is surprisingly more cunning than our Loki, because she's been feeding the TVA for quite some time, and it's hard to tell how long because TVA exists outside of time, so it means it could have been an eternity.
We can't say for certain how long she's been bodying them, but she's been doing it pretty well. I mean, I still ain't forgot about episode 1. She set all them on fire with some oil. Yeah. Like There Will Be Blood or something. Mm-hmm. And yeah, she's vicious, and she has some sort of agenda or plan clearly going on. I mean, while we don't know everything about Lady Loki, we do know that all Lokis love to plot, they love to scheme, and they love to have plans. So we know this one will too. The question will be, what is the plan? And ultimately, I think a second question we have to ask Ping is, do we think that she is meant to be the main villain, or will there be another reveal of some sort?
I don't know, because I think that this show is going to not only, because with the character Loki, we've already experienced, a good 10 years or so of blending hero and villain into like what we consider an anti-hero within Loki. But I think this show itself is actively trying to blend the line between protagonist and antagonist as well. And I don't believe, like I said earlier in the episode 2 discussion, that them playing Pat Benatar is holding out for a hero while she fed the TVA in the first part of the episode was just a coincidence. I don't think that wasn't deliberate. I think that really meant to be something, because the TVA itself is the most suspect entity of this show, not the other Loki. We just got the reveal, which is crazy, because I thought like you said in the beginning, I thought there would be a lot more world building and stuff before we even saw that character from the trailers and stuff. From what I'm seeing, most of the moments in the trailers are from episodes 1 and 2.
Right. That definitely seems to be. They basically ran through all the footage. So at this point, we're all just kind of out here.
Yeah.
We have no idea what awaits us in episode 3, but we closed out episode 2 with Lady Loki sending just a surprise attack of literal time bombs, basically.
Yeah.
Throughout various
several important locations in MCU. We see Vormir, we see Asgard, we see New York, we see tons of cities. We noticed, because we're here in Nashville, that you see Cookville, and also on a rewatch, I saw Kingsport.
Wow, who thought we would get 2?
Next it was going to be McKenzie. What?
Surely not. But yeah, the TVA is clearly in like a big panic trying to handle all that, and then right at the end we see Lady Loki dip off into another area of time, and our Loki goes after her. So that's where we're at now at the end of episode 2.
Yeah. So we're just naked in the wind right now. They're wrong for that.
They wrong for that, but also good job. You're doing great.
Yes.
The first 2 episodes have been fire.
Loki is looking very good. You guys have kept we have seen a consistency of excellent television from Marvel since this streaming stuff started, with WandaVision into Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and now with this Loki. It's very cash money.
Yeah, it's very cash money. Got some cool scenes. And you got the nice little speculation and theories you can talk about with your friends, or we can talk to you about it right now, like we're doing. And so yeah, it's been some good fun. And we are going to look forward to bringing you even more talking points and more speculation when episode 3 drops. You'll be seeing that pretty soon before the end of this week. Loki drops on Wednesdays. So, with that being said, we're going to wrap up this episode. And remember, if you haven't already, like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on the handles.
All of our socials are Culture Core Academy. His personal is Caleb Be Talking.
Yeah, and Ping's is, what's your?
Ping Rose Plays.
Ping Rose Plays.
Yes, sir.
And with that being said, class is dismissed. Thank you for being with the Academy yet again, and we'll see y'all next time.